There are a number of footbridges in the country. These structures are erected to safeguard the lives of pedestrians.
Footbridges are constructed to guarantee the safety of pedestrians. I am Owusu Andy Samuel, a reporter from the Andy Opon Online TV, and I'm currently live at Spanner to bring you up to speed reports from the area. As you can see behind me, there is a huge footbridge at my back, and I can see individuals crossing it. From Jolu to Accra Mall, there seems to be a scarcity of footbridges there, and this is very fatal on the lives of GNG students who try to cross the road. We'll be engaging some of them to find out their plights as far as this situation is concerned.
We are drawing the spotlight on the spanner overhead and the road stretching from Jolu to the Accra Mall, which lacks a footbridge. In the first phase of our expedition, we will be engaging some pedestrians at the spanner region to share their thoughts on how beneficial footbridges are.
I want to inform you that using the footbridge is very important to everyone. You're supposed to work on this footbridge. You're not supposed to walk whilst the cars are passing. Last time I was here and I experienced some guy who just want to cross the road. And unfortunately, there's a car coming from his left side. I didn't see the car until immediately the car was passing. I want to tell everybody that when you are crossing some road and you see a footbridge there, just pass by, walk on it. Don't say, "Oh, I'm in a hurry. I want to go like this. Or I want to take this thing, give this person." Then go. No, just take your time. Use the footbridge to move to the other side so that you won't get any accident, anyone.
Rose Abajoa, a resident from Labadi, says footbridges are very important. She adds that there is no single footbridge in Labadi and calls onto the government to do something about the situation.
I think footbridges are very important on busy roads. I'm from Labadi and they don't have so many there. Not even one. It makes crossing very hard. A lot of recorded accidents and it's very risky too. Yeah. I think there's a need for footbridges to come to Labadi and every other busy places. I think it is very important and it saves lives. So once we have some, I urge everyone to use the footbridges.
Some pedestrians who agreed to share their thoughts decided to do so off camera. This is what a student from the University of Ghana who uses the footbridge on a daily basis had to say about the situation.
We will be speaking to a pedestrian to take his thoughts on this issue. So, Mister, how beneficial is this footbridge to you as an individual?
I think it's very convenient because, see, normally when you're crossing the road, you have to look both sides and make sure a car isn't coming or anything. But then this one, it's actually made for you just to, be quick about it and have your way to the other side of the road.
Okay. So we have individuals who cross the road without using the footbridge. Probably they might want to get to a place where at a quicker pace. So what would you say about this?
Well, actually, I haven't really seen anyone do that before. But how much time would they actually save by using the road instead of just taking the footbridge?
Okay. And so when you get to Jolu, from Jolu to Accra Mall, you realize that there's no footbridge there. And what would you say to the government about this situation also?
Well, yeah, I think I would actually recommend that they do set up another footbridge over there. Because it will just make everything easier and more safe for everyone else.
Some Ghanaians have the habit of flouting rules and not making use of certain things they protest for. We took a footage of a man crossing the road to the other end directly instead of using the footbridge. In the second phase of drawing attention for a footbridge to be built, we are going to be putting the spotlight on the Tetekwashi Highway, which stretches from Jolu to the Accra Mall. The area lacks a footbridge, and this makes it difficult for people to get to the other side of wherever they are heading to. This poses a lot of dangers to individuals who try to tussle and do whatever it takes to cross.
We have changed location from Spanner, and we are currently live at the Tetekwasi Road, where there is no footbridge, unlike Spanner, where we have a footbridge there. So as you can see behind me, the cars are moving, and people crossing the road find difficulty trying to get to the other stretch. This poses a lot of danger to them. It's a risk to their life.
These are footages of what people go through at the Tetekwasi Highway. Holy Hodaji, a car tour at the Tetekwasi Highway, shares his thoughts on the situation at hand and calls onto the government to intervene.
Driver, to kabi asay okwano so na eko. You na nkofon so dwuma ho na yeye wo ha. Na ha so say car no and traffic twam wo ha.
With two vehicles here at a fee, the absence of a footbridge at this area is very problematic. People go through a lot to cross the road to the other end. We are calling onto the government to do something about the situation.
Yes, sir, abayin say ombenye bibi fa on say ye footbridge bi a odiba etu ha ma ye na nkofo na omotwom ne tumi fa esuro eba na akwan mu da homa driver fo no mutumi nya akwan ko a ye beda aban no asipa yo mi ba cho nipa bebre ka abo mo moto abo mo ha madam fo bi pa na ye oba bi etimu ha say na.
A number of people have been knocked down here. I could recount when a friend of mine crashed a young lady with his motorbike here. Up till now, her body hasn't been found. We therefore plead with the government to construct a footbridge for us. So some students at the University of Media, Art and Communication, GIG, Unimac GIG for short, shared some complaints on what they go through using the Jolu stretch, which is without a footbridge.
Crossing the Jolu campus motorway, it's been very difficult because one day I once witnessed an accident just right off the left road where I was also about to cross. A motor hit one student, one guy also heading towards the same campus, and I really felt bad, and it is such a way that where the traffic light is very far from where we used to cross to the campus. I remember it was a Friday. I was having feature writing, and I was a bit late, so I was in a hurry to cross. I was able to cross the first one. Crossing the second one, I just saw this huge tipper car which was heading towards me, and I didn't know what to do than to stop and go back. So and I stood there for about 2 minutes before I was able to cross. I suggest there should be overhead. There should be build some overhead so the student can cross easily. Or if not, maybe they can have these people who are having these flags, and then when students stand by the roadside, you just raise the red or green flag so that they'll stop, then the students can be able to pass and go.
My concern with the footbridge at the Unimac GIG Road, Jowolo, I think it would be of help if the government come up with something like that, because there are students passing, and that's GIG students, and then their life too is at risk. Sometimes you set up very early, but getting to where you alight and then crossing the road to campus, it is also another issue, because you would have to stand there for a very long time before crossing the road. And even sometimes if there's not traffic, there's no way, no one is going to stop for you to cross. They would even notice you that there's students who are crossing the road.
Pertaining to the footbridge everyone is requesting at the new campus of Unimac GIG, yeah, I think getting the footbridge would be would be easy for us to at least go to the school quickly. Because I mean, my time I spent over there wasn't that okay. Because crossing the road alone is a stress. You getting scared, you'll be hit by a car. So yeah, if the government is able to try find a way to build a footbridge around there, crossing the road would be easy and convenient for students and even people living around there.
We interviewed a student from one of the universities in Accra. She shared her experience about a gory incident she went through at the Tema motorway. She agreed to speak to us on the grounds of anonymity. This was what she had to say.
It was an unfortunate experience for me actually because I was coming back from school and then the incident happened. I was actually coming back from school and I bought a car using the motorway to Tema. So when I got to my destination, I was supposed to alight. A friend called me, like she hasn't called me in a while, and then she just gave me a call. I was so surprised, like, oh, what is it? Why is this lady calling me? So I just stood back to answer the call, and before I could realize, about four people I was standing with them, crossing the road, and then three of them, that was it. That was the end for them. So when we were crossing the road, I couldn't cross because I had a call, and that was a life-saving moment for me. And then the rest who crossed, truck from nowhere comes with a speed and then hit them, and that was the end for them. They all died. I would just suggest maybe they bring a footbridge, and then we the pedestrians we also have to be careful because that is not a road we are supposed to be crossing. But because of maybe time saving and necessity, we just cross that road. So I would also suggest we take that on our part and then stop crossing that side. And then the government also helps with a footbridge as well.
An MTTD personnel under the Ghana Police Service who directs traffic at the Tekwasi Highway did not grant us an interview on the issue when we spoke to him about it. He says his superior has to give a consent before we can get his opinion, which we couldn't get. He rather addressed a different concern, which is the lackadaisical attitude of drivers who use the edges of the Tetequashi road, which is meant for pedestrians, other than the main one. A taxi driver at the Tetequashi Highway discloses that, to him, a footbridge shouldn't be constructed because he feels the highway is an N1 road and it is very risky for people to cross it. He also laments on commercial vehicles parking at the spot to pick passengers, which also serves as a threat to the lives of people. Footbridges are very essential as far as our lives are concerned. So I call upon the government, the state institutions, and other corporate bodies to do all they can to erect a footbridge at the Jolly Strait and other busy areas which lacks it. Be mindful when crossing the Tetequashi Road or any other busy road. Stay safe. This is a report by Andy Osu Samuel or Andy Opon Online TV, Tetequashi, Accra.